Bonsoir les amis, this is Llyane Stanfield and you can find me at parisianfrench.com. Tonight I would like to talk about the immersion retreat, the French immersion. I had a few conversations in the past few days, and of course you probably already know about the program that I created based on some brainstorming that I had with some of you in this group, and I really appreciate this a lot. So this program that I created, the Francophiles Bible, is an actual online immersion that it can be done in around 2 months, can be done faster, it can be done in more time, but 2 months pretty much is what I feel that would be a really beneficial time frame that you would invest in this. And what I'm talking about, the real immersion, the immersion that you want to do. You want to eventually go to Paris, go to France, and do an immersion, a French immersion. And I have been discussing these days with a few people interested in my immersion because this is what I do. Everything that I do is immersive approach. I'm doing immersion in my online program. I'm doing immersion offline in Paris, and there are so many misconceptions, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see how many misconceptions are out there, and I'm going to, off the top of my head, because there have been so many things that came to me, and I had to discuss about these issues that a lot of people see from the outside, in a way, and it's rightfully so. I so understand. I have been there. Remember that English is not my first language, so I have been learning the language in the classroom. I have been learning the language in immersion once I moved here in North America, and I know what kept me from actually speaking the language at professional level, and what I had to do in order for me to break through from a hobby, a do-it-yourself kind of thing to a professional language, and so many things that are taken lightly by so many people. It literally breaks my heart. I see people coming to me after years and years, 10 years and more, trying to learn the language in a classroom, and then they get fed up with the lack of success based on that approach, and then they take on the immersion approach, and then they go full-fledged immersion, and so they spend a lot of money and time and hope, and especially because I'm working with successful professionals, it's not only the personal impact that has, but it's also the professional impact that has. And because I have been there, I came to North America to earn my life in English, and I have gone through so much loss because of my approach. And I do not want anybody who meets me, I don't want to leave with the same a flawed approach, because that can cost years, and that can cost a lot of pain and income loss. So I'm going to start with the misconception. Yes, there are a few questions that have come to me today for Q&A. So it's the French R, as well as a question that I received in another group, and that was bon après-midi, if that is used in France, and how. And so I want to get to that as well, but I really want to talk about the immersion. So there are some people, people are looking at immersion either through, okay, so I'm going to go with someone in an immersion for a couple of months, and that's going to help me just get the language. And that is okay, and that can be done, and it can be, what I'm telling you is because this group is of successful professionals and business people, and that we cannot afford doing the language or acquiring the language like a hobbyist. We can't do it by the year. We can't wing it. I mean, we can. It's just not bringing us the results that, I'm getting so passionate about this. It's not bringing us the results that we are looking for. It's not bringing us the high quality that I stand for, that we stand for in our business. I'm a business person. Each of you are a professional or a business person. And so we know that we represent ourselves based on the quality of the presentation that we make. Our sales proposition is the way we dress, the knowledge that we have regarding the culture, the tradition, and the people that we're talking to, and our language. So many people are using the language by the year, and that is kind of cashing in a lot of loss. So it's loss of time, loss of money, and so any loss of time is loss of money. So if you intend, for instance, to go in a 2-month immersion in France to pick up the language, and then after that to perform at a professional level, high professional level, then that is going to, not only, you are not presenting yourself as a high professional, as a high level professional, and you're not representing me in a great way, meaning that if you're talking to someone telling, well, where did you learn French? Well, I've learned French with Rosetta Stone. Most of you probably tried it. With Duolingo, most of you are trying it probably. I'm learning Italian with Duolingo. Not that it gives me much of conversation, it gives me knowledge, but I am making conversation with French and Italian, so I am doing what I'm preaching. And so different approaches, maybe a tutor, maybe a teacher. And then we're looking for an immersion, because that is definitely what you have to do eventually. But you can never. And so what have you been working with? Who did you work with? So I've done this, and that. I've worked with Llyane, amongst others. I don't want to be one of the options that or one of the teachers or tutors or whatever you have tried and then you moved on. My commitment to you is so that I am the last French language coach that you have worked with. Probably the first two, because language coaching is very new in the market. At this point, I may be the first one. I want to be the last one. That's what I provide. I provide a service, and I make sure that you get the quality and the results that we both are aiming for. So I don't want to be, I worked with this Llyane, and then I moved on to other things, because I do offer everything, and I adjust everything to you. And most clients that I've worked with, unless they were coming for just a specific thing and then they kind of hit and go, most clients that I have, they started wherever they started, and they ended bilingual. So when you want to go in an immersion, know that there are many people who went to immersion, spent a lot of time and money, not getting the result that they were actually there for. In order to go on an immersion, you need to have a certain level. in order to get that level, you need to know what you're doing. You need to have someone to guide you to get to that particular sweet spot where the immersion is actually going to bring you only value. So going on an immersion, especially a lengthy immersion, which I offer, of course, it's going to be very expensive. And why would you even do that? Because the application of the immersion, if you really want to do some with someone, it's to reinforce everything that you know and be on your own 2 feet and not need anyone ever again. So if you have problems with pronunciation, immersion doesn't fix that. If you have problems with phrase construction, the immersion does not fix that. Hoping to fix any of these two with an immersion retreat is going to get you in a lot of waste of time and money. So now my immersion is a 1-week immersion. I have people who have been doing 2 or more. I have immersions even here in North America, and I also have immersion in France for 1 week in Paris. So when you go on an immersion with me for a week, you know what you're doing. You are already solid on your own 2 feet because you have been doing any of my programs. Going there to start to discover your language is exactly how I came here to North America after English learned in school, and I was told in my immigration interview that I was fluent in English, and then I came here to not understand people and not being understood by people. And it took me many years to figure out things and to discover approaches that nobody has to learn and apply it out to French, because you need to learn French. But I discovered these things on my own in years. So I came to an immersion. I have been in a full immersion here. So I have the experience on my own skin what an immersion is. What are the results of the immersion when you're not well prepared or prepared enough? And I had no choice. I couldn't go back home because, well, that was the plan, to come here and stay. But the amount of pain that I went through is not something that I want you to go through. And you may not do that unless you immigrate, unless you move to France to earn your life there. And even in France, I mean, there are a lot of ways you can actually work in English. But me coming here, I chose not to work in France. I worked in Francophone jobs, but I had to know English very well. So I am one of the examples. I am one of the people who you want to ask, how is an immersion when you're not well prepared? How does it feel? What are the results? And I'm telling you right now, it's painful. So to go on an immersion when you're not yet prepared, it's a waste of a lot of money, because time equals money. And especially if you want to do business in French, it's a lot of loss. I mean, not just money, sheer money, but it's your reputation, it's how you present yourself. So I'm so passionate about this because I went through hell and because I am doing this. What I'm doing here is I'm doing it so that nobody who knows or gets to know me ever has to go through this hell, because you know me, and so I can tell you, just don't do that. What you're doing is not going to get you to good results. Now, of course, different people are different, and of course there are different approaches. Of course, there are people who have much better ear, much better memory, much better, of course. But I also have experienced like tens and tens and tens and hundreds of clients by now, and I've seen people who went to immersions, numerous immersions, and they came back turned off by the immersions. Some people came back from immersions not wanting to see French ever in their life again because it was painful, especially group immersions. And most of the immersions, I only know one person who actually it's a lady who she's mostly like she's renting her place, and she's doing these French immersions, so to speak. But I don't know if she's really a French language teacher or coach of some sort. I do know that she's renting her place and she's giving the service of French immersion as you go around Paris. But other than that lady that I've seen on the internet, nobody does immersion one-on-one the way I do. And the results, if you go on my immersion retreat page, you will see there are people there who started from zero with me and did the intensive program, and then immersion retreat for 1 week, and then advanced program, and then again immersion retreat. Bam, they're speaking French with the natives, they're making conversation, and they're on their own feet. So please do not go in an immersion retreat unprepared. Immersion in groups, I'm not saying don't go, because they may be more affordable, and I understand. But when you go on one, be prepared that they are going to reduce everybody to a common denominator, and it's not going to address your own particular issues and needs and goals. Once you go prepared for that, expect that result in return. This is the reason I don't believe in groups. I maybe will do groups not more than 4 people, because I still want to be one-on-one with each person. But everything that I do is one-on-one for a reason. My trademark is high quality, and your bilingualism or your fluency is what I stand for, right? It's reflecting what I do. So if you are not doing well, then my image is not that great. And so this is the reason I really implore you, please do consider every single one of these pieces of advices that you can get from someone who coaches a ton of people and who is a product of immersion herself. I'm a product of immersion, and I know what phases are that one goes through in an immersion if you want to do professionally well. If you want to go to Paris, to France, you want to travel, and you want to just get by, that's fine. We can approach that too. It's a different way. It's a completely different animal. But as we're talking here amongst very successful professionals and business people, we want to perform professionally in French, and that is your image. When, as a civilian, when you are in the street, when you are speaking with accent, I'm telling you because I'm a product of that, and some of you, I know that English is not your first language. So English is your second language, and French would be at least your third language. I know there are brilliant people in this group. So I'm not gonna talk to these people, because you guys already know. If you know more than 2 languages, you already know that what that means. But people who for whom French is the second language, there is a process, and there are things, if you want to. Oh yes, that's where I was. So when you speak with an accent, just think about the way you see someone speaking with an accent. You may not want to judge them, but when you speak professionally to someone and they are speaking to you with an accent, there is a doubt in your mind. There is a slight something in the subconscious saying, maybe, who knows, maybe they didn't quite understand very well what I'm saying to them, or maybe so they don't understand, or they don't say exactly what they mean to say. So there is a slight doubt in your mind when someone talks to you with an accent that there may be somewhere as little as there can be of lack of communication between you and that person. So my work with you is that I want to make sure that you have as little as possible of that. So when you perform as a professional, going to work with French natives, either in France or you talk to the French somewhere, doesn't matter in the world, you want to have as little accent or as little difficulty in making your sentence right in French as possible. You want to be as professional in speaking French as you can possibly be. And so in order to get to do that, you really need to be well prepared in order to get to the immersion that can only add so much. An immersion cannot make you speak, okay? It well, sure, I mean, I've done that. I've done the immersion. It made me speak, but I had coaches and I've learned a ton. I've created techniques and things because I'm a linguist. But if you want to go into an immersion, like a 2-month immersion or something like that, where you want that to fix everything, you're onto a really hard, bumpy road. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing my job to show you, to tell you the risks and the expense that you are putting yourself through. So, and I think that the worst that can happen here would be your reputation. As a professional and as a business person, if you're not professional in the way you speak, your reputation is at stake. And that is worse than whatever amount of money that you're going to spend on classes or on immersions or whatever it is that you're choosing to do. So this is really what I wanted to tell you, and it's so important. And I'm looking forward to your questions because I am the immersion girl. I'm doing immersion online. I'm doing a lot of programs, immersion online, to prepare you for the immersion offline in Paris. That's what I do for a living. And I want that to be very clear for you, so that you use each tool. Immersion is a tool. You have to use it for what it's made, for what it's worth, and for what it brings you the best result for your buck. You really need to be very well informed and not make the mistake of going into an immersion and hoping or intending to have all the results of the entire language and to make you speak. If you go into an immersion, especially if you go into a group immersion, that's definitely going to keep you at an average level. You are going to improve what you already know, and you're going to lose even more of what you don't know. That's pretty much what a group setting does, and you know that from all your schooling, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The program that I created, the Francophiles Bible, is a 2-month immersive program that prepares you for a trip to Paris. I know a lot of you are, I'm going to put the link in the comments below. So a lot of you are preparing to go to Paris, and this program is a fantastic thing. I love it because I put it together based on a ton of brainstorming in this group. So it contains Talk Like a Parisian pronunciation master course for polished pronunciation for life. This pronunciation course you cannot find anywhere. I am a pronunciation expert, and I'm not going to let you go until you really know your pronunciation. Don't forget that in French pronunciation and spelling go hand in hand. And so if you want to write, and I know a couple of people told me that they need to learn how to write in French. Well, spelling and pronunciation go hand in hand, and so doing the pronunciation course will help you for both. It contains a bilingual express audiobook that gives you everything you need to move to the next level, and 10 hours Skype one-on-one to master conversation, which are custom tailored for your level. So we're going to have an in-depth assessment to identify exactly each and every point that you need to have addressed in order for you to get, you know, the mastery of the language that you can have in these 2 months. The topics covered are conversation, phrase construction, writing based on your specific goals, and of course pronunciation. Verbs one-on-one to confidently use them in all tenses needed in conversation. And 8 surprising learning techniques to use for life so that you can make conversation with ease. So those 8 techniques actually help you be self-sufficient. I don't want you to stay with me forever. I honestly want you to leave me as soon as you can. And so these 8 techniques will help you be self-sufficient like as soon as you want, right? So it's your investment in time and investment of yourself. That doesn't have to be necessarily a ton of time, but it has to be a lot of motivation and intention. The bonuses are lifetime membership to From Newbie to Oh La La program, which contains French culture and etiquette, as well as pronunciation, French language and all that. Cheat sheets and conversation lifesavers for when you have to communicate in French and you feel that you're stuck. And Le Génie Verbal Video Collection, all the verbs that you need for conversation. And the bonus that is early registration bonus is the What You're Missing and How to Become Fluent, a 1-hour video masterclass, and that is on the website. And I'm going to give you the link. But note that this is an immersion online. So immersion online means that when you speak to me, you only speak to me, and I'm not going to let you be other than the best that you can be. So you will have things to work on your own at home. Without these things, nothing can be done. So don't make the mistake to think that in a few Skype classes you're done, because you're not going to be done. And I don't want to... I really want you to know the truth, because based on this truth you can actually schedule, plan, and get that goal done, like reach your goal, really do it. As other of my clients have reached from 0 to advanced conversation in 1 year, you can do that too. And so we will speak French. However, I'm not going to force 100% French if it's not possible. So this program is for all levels. So if you start from 0, we can do this program, and you're going to go into 2 months, you're going to jump levels, you're going to get to the next level of your language into 2 months. This is not the intensive program. That one gets you to an advanced level of conversation. But this program gives you language, it gives you pronunciation, which is huge, conversation, culture and etiquette. So what things that you need to know, like someone that told me in Priyanka, I think she was, that I can't remember if it was her, said that she wants to know a little bit of everything, so that when she goes there she can actually operate as a human being, a little informed in whatever is possible. Know that access to this program is for life. Whatever information, you're not going to be bombarded with in 2 months, and then, oh my God, I don't have the time, and everybody's working. Remember that all my clients are very successful business people and professionals, meaning very highly, utterly busy. So, as I am. And so, I know exactly what that means. This is the reason why our Skype classes can be scheduled with 24 hours in advance, can be changed and so on. Very flexible. This is something that needs to fit your lifestyle. This is not something that you should change your lifestyle around. So it is so important for you to know that, because a lot of people are, yeah, but I can't commit now. You don't have to commit now. But this program will not be for sale. As you can see, I'm coming up with different programs now. And so this program is going to be for sale for just a few days, and then it's gone. So register now and use it when you become available. That is the smart way to go. No, you will know that you'll have support, and you'll always, have someone with you, because you would have lifetime access to this program. Lifetime access. So again, I really want to go back to, going back to the French R. I know there's a question there. I am going to give you the link to a video that I've created about the French R, so the answer is going to be there. And I'm going back to the immersion. Please do think twice when you decide for a long immersion. And a group immersion too. I mean, if you go for a group immersion and that is what you feel that you should do it. Don't expect, though, to have what my client had in like a few months. Don't expect that kind of result when the tool that you're using can only give you this kind of result. So look at the tools that you're using. Just as a business person, as a professional, you wouldn't use a tool that is made for something, you wouldn't use it for something else and expect, and be then disappointed for the results. Be very careful for the tool that you're choosing in order to get your result, and always remember that as a professional and as a business person, what's most important for us is our reputation. There's no that is the reason why I enunciate in English. I am very careful with my pronunciation. I'm working every single moment as I speak English to make it such that my accent is almost invisible. I know I still have an accent. I know I'm not speaking like a native because I enunciate much more. But my pronunciation is there. I know because I put my efforts for years to find what is standard American, and this is what I speak. So a lot of effort, a lot of heart, and all that heart comes for you, because I don't want you to go through what I went through. And you have me as a resource. Please use me, ask me questions, and with all my heart, I'm here to answer every single question before you make a decision. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so passionate about this. This is the reason why I am dedicating myself to immersion, because so many people, because it's such a good tool, and sometimes it's so misused, and it can get to results that are not the best, not the ones that we're wishing for. Thank you so much again for watching this. Stay on your game and don't ever give up on your dream to become bilingual. Learn to speak Parisian French and break your language barrier. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine. Au revoir.